Hello, VBS friends. It's good to see all of you. Welcome to the VBS Science Station. I'm Miss Susan, and this is my teenage helper and son, Nathan.
Hey.
If you're a Muncie regular at VBS, you probably recognize us because I've been doing the science room for a while, and Nathan's been a shepherd helping with groups of kiddos. And we're both excited about being here. Something you need to know about the Science Station is it tends to be messy. So, parents, you may either want to come outside like we are, or set up a big roasting pan or baking dish that will catch most of the messes and make cleanup easier.
Or do it over the sink.
Or do it, well, some of them you can do over the sink, that is true. All right, science is a way for us to explore God's creation and the world around us. And so our experiments are going to connect to our stories as well as teaching us a little bit about science. Today's story is about Jesus healing the lepers. And the lepers there were 10 of them, and the lepers were isolated from the rest of society. And they asked for Jesus to heal them so that they could be back in society because they were very, very lonely being left out of everything. And we sometimes feel lonely as well. So God came in and he helped them. Our first experiment today is going to show you how barriers can be broken down. Just like Jesus broke the barriers and let the lepers join the rest of society by healing them, we're going to break down some barriers. So here's what we're going to do. You need a roll of toilet paper, a quarter, and a grainy material. It could be dirt, it could be sand, it could be rice, it could be sugar. We're using dirt. So what we're going to do first is we're going to fold one side of our toilet paper roll down toward the center. Then we'll fold the other side to meet it so it kind of looks like a funny cone there. Okay? And then we're going to fold the two triangle points down to the center as well. Okay. So now you have kind of closed up the bottom of your toilet paper roll. And then we're going to get our dirt. Nathan, you want to get the dirt? And we're getting rained on here, so I can't see through my glasses, so I'll take them off. All right. And what you're going to do is you're going to fill up your container most of the way with the dirt. Don't worry about getting a little dirty. It's dirt. That happens.
God made dirt. Dirt don't hurt.
Okay. So you get it most of the way full, not all the way to the tippy top, but most of the way full. Okay, so after you've filled up your cup with dirt, your dirt is isolated like the lepers were. And Jesus came in, and Jesus is going to be represented right now by our quarter. Jesus came in and he performed his miracle and he healed them. What we're going to do is we're going to put a little pressure on our quarter. So you put your quarter kind of flat down in the middle of your toilet paper roll. Okay? And then we're going to move over the grass. All right? And you push down kind of hard. And you keep pushing. And you keep pushing. And eventually, your barrier will break. And all the dirt breaks free. And so now we have an empty roll. And that was simple pressure, was strong enough to break the barrier that you made. Okay? So that was our first experiment. Our second project for today also has to do with barriers and breaking down barriers, particularly osmosis. You'll see that in this cup I have some blue colored water and a lettuce leaf. And if you look closely at the lettuce leaf, you'll notice that even though the water only went up to about there is blue all the way around the edge of the lettuce leaf. And that is because of osmosis. There was more water, a higher concentration of water in the cup than in the lettuce leaf. And so the water went up through the leaf and it actually dyed the tips of the leaf blue. And that process is called osmosis. The water concentration that is higher moves to the water concentration that is lower. And we're going to try that today. I will forewarn you that this project takes some time. So this is one that you'll want to set up and then let sit and look at it in a few hours. The first thing that we're going to do is we're going to put water about 2/3 of the way full in each of the cups. It's going to work better to use warm water than cold water, but it will still work with cold water.
Like it?
A little bit more.
So you?
No, it's the way you're pouring it. There you go. That's good. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to get a couple of strips of cloth. They don't have to be fancy. These are just pieces of an old t-shirt. And we're gonna get them a little bit wet and squeeze them out. Okay, we just need to do 2. Okay, so we have our 2 strips of cloth. They're not very big and we got them wet. The next thing we do is we're going to, this is our plain water and it's going to stay our plain water. And Nathan is going to help us out by making it blue. And this will just make it easier for us to see the osmosis occurring. It just pops off. About 4 or 5 drops. Okay. And we'll stir that up. So we have our nice blue plain water. So this water is going to have the highest concentration of water. It's all water except for those 5 little drops of blue food coloring. Then we're going to take one of our cups and we're going to add salt to it. Nathan, would you get the tablespoon from right over there? Okay. And we're going to put 2 tablespoons of salt. 1, 2.
Don't drink that.
No, ew.
It's like drinking the ocean.
And that cup. And then we're going to put 2 tablespoons of sugar in the other cup. And I'm going to wipe this off because it's wet. All right, you want to do the sugar? Okay, and while he's doing the sugar, I will stir our salt water up a little bit. Yeah, 2. Okay, and Nathan, if you want to get a spoon, you can stir our sugar water up a little bit. And then the next step is we're going to drop one end of our rag into our plain water, and we're going to drop the other end of the rag into the water that either has the salt or the sugar in it. And then we actually will wait. You'll start to see pretty immediately that the color, that blue color, starts coming up your cloth. Eventually the blue color will come all the way up and over and go into your other cups, but that's going to take a few hours for us to see. So you'll want to set that aside and just kind of keep checking back throughout the day to see what happens. And this is kind of how the barrier is broken. Okay, it's transferring. This is what we call a semi-permeable barrier, and it's crossing over. So again, we see transformation when those barriers are broken down, just like the lepers saw in their lives. And that ends day 1 of our science lesson.